Bell disclaimer, the following Q&A session is intended for informational and educational purposes only. Hi everyone. Welcome to our Q&A session. It's great to have you here. This session is not a substitute for professional medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. If you are experiencing any health or mental health concerns, please consult a qualified professional. Our content is here to support reflection and insight. However, I do not assume responsibility or liability for any outcomes based on what is shared today. Your well-being matters. It's essential to prioritize yourself. Please make choices that are right for your unique situation. Now, let's dive into your questions.
I was told the details when I was born and being raised. I understood what was going on.
Sorry?
What was going on when I was in utero. I understand I felt an immediate pressure in my head, as if in utero I was being squeezed or it was too crowded for me.
Yeah.
But I understand that would be related to something that was going on in their lives while I was in utero. Even the point of abandonment, I felt abandoned at 4 to 5 because my younger brother was conceived, the menopausal baby, the unexpected, unplanned for child. And I was to go on an airplane ride. It was only an hour in the air, but I was to be sent by myself, with an adult sending me and receiving me on the other end. And I loved my grandmother was going to care for me during her birthing of my younger brother. But I know in my heart of hearts, I still have a fear of flying. It's always just before takeoff. I have to regulate, I have to do everything possible not to get triggered. I understood that I must have felt abandoned, that they were sending me away. I wasn't good enough, loved enough. But I loved my grandmother. She was my greatest ally and had been cared for by a childless couple who were also warm, loving, and they treated me like a princess. They treated me the way my parents said I was special, but they never followed through with the actions that this couple did, and it was that was a gift. But nonetheless, all the feelings that my body is holding seem to be in my eyes and my head, neck, shoulders, particularly intestines, and small of the back. My question is, I've also had structural damage done to those areas, how do you separate? Is it like am I drawing to myself these accidents that occurred that then
Okay. Yeah, so it's look, nobody knows. I mean, if it makes you guilty, then the guilty is a feeling to work on. It doesn't matter in many ways. Okay, you see, so you can become more objective than that. However, when you talk to the current aspect of discomfort, for example, if it is in your shoulders, in your head, you still feel pain, you can always understand what is behind that. Okay, so you understand you have to differentiate between why it happened, but what do you carry? What is more important for you is to know what you still carry. Okay, that can give you a cue about what happened then. But remember, as long as there is going to be guilt or any of those
shame
feelings, right, then there is no compassion for the little one. Okay, and as long as there's no compassion for what happened to you as a little one, it'll be difficult to heal in the present moment because you're holding on to what happened to that young one with some aspect of a feeling of either guilt or shame or anger or whatever because of what she had to go through.
Well, that's interesting because I've been working with loving her to bits, saying, I am here for you now. I may not always have been, but now I am present and I'm not going to let you, carry the burden alone. My question is, what do I do with the container that's holding her pain? Could
Uh,
I offer it to one of the four elements?
yeah, so you have, okay. So first, telling the young one that I love you to bits is okay. It's the beginning of the story. It does not end the story. Do you understand as well as to what she has been holding on to?
Yes.
If you do, then you witness it. So you have to go through a process which allows you to both witness it and then heal it, okay? Release it out. Okay.
Very
So
good.
first is an observation, second is witnessing, and third one is always going to be healing. However, you also need to know, because you talked about a container, the container that holds that young one has to feel that you are currently in a place of compassion for yourself enough to hold her when she releases her pain. So is it safe now for you? Are you in a place of pure love? Are you in a place of compassion for yourself, etc.? Because if that's not the case, then this is not a safe container. That was not a safe time, but this is not a safe container. Okay, so she's never going
Well,
to. Okay,
herein lies a conundrum. I've been practicing self-love. I do the most that I can to be gentle with myself, whereas in the past I would power through emotions. I give myself permission to rest. I go swimming in a pool and I talk to my others in the water because I feel really safe in water.
water. Okay.
But when I'm out of the water and I'm doing life on life's terms, I get attacked and I feel like I'm in that fight or flight. The realities of life are happening. So it's easy for someone in that vulnerable, tender period to confuse that.
Yeah, correct.
Uh,
And that is fair. Okay. So this is, I'm probably saying in the same way in different ways. So your practice has to be how much more can you feel yourself in the container, even in the real world, despite you being attacked, okay? How fast you can bring yourself back into that place of safety and container, because that's what is. I agree. When you close your eyes and you go into 3D, you can feel as you want. When you go into real world, then you can't. But when you practice it enough, then you become so aware, oh, I am being attacked. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow it not to let it be there, because
mm,
you can do yourself whatever mechanism, because you will have mechanism so that you can get out of that state of fight or flight quicker. And again, it's a muscle. It takes time. I
mm,
understand what you're saying. Okay. But what I'm saying is that your system needs a safe place, okay, for that
ah,
little one to feel safe all the time with you. Otherwise, your protector, because that's what you call the container, is actually going to not allow that little one to come here, because say, well, okay, that was unsafe, but even this is unsafe.
I think I understand what activates the protector to continue to hold on to the burden that she's carrying. So
Correct.
when my true authentic self steps up to the plate, even under attack, and I say, look, we're under attack. I'm going to take care of it. I might not feel like it right now that I'm succeeding, but I'm not going to let this take it. I am bouncing back from insults, let's call them insults of life. without going into a downward spiral for the length of time when I was younger, knowing nothing about why I would be in a depression for so long. So I am seeing some progress.
Yeah, okay. And there is more work to do. Again, I'm not judging you at all. Be careful.
No,
But I
I
mean, be aware.
understand.
Okay? I'm just making you aware because I hear your language. Okay? Even in your language, there is an aspect. For example, there's a part of you that feels insulted. Now, as long as this part feels insulted, it will not allow you to to come
I
back to
get it.
the okay.
Okay.
So you know, and
Uh,
this is it's a tricky. I mean, again, this whole work
what
with
we tell ourselves.
the
Yeah, I'm
words,
trying to change my language.
yeah, the language, the words, the vocabulary is an instruction to your parts.
All right.
Okay, you are the CEO of your system. If the CEO is talking about I am being attacked, I am being insulted, then your part, which only plays a protective role, saying, okay, you know what, let's be careful because she feels attacked. So that's the work. I mean, and it's,
Okay.
again, I'm not simplifying for you, okay?
Now
But
I'm
I'm
glad I
just,
have now I have a footprint, I mean a plan I can work on improving.
you have to, it's like I always tell everybody, I say you have to put literally a 24 hours Google camera onto yourself and watch everything you say do. Because that's what your system is hearing you. Look, the external world may act whatever way. You have a filter in which translates into what the external world is coming into. If that filter has, you know, this language, of
Yeah, yeah.
course, it's immediately saying, wow, we are insulted, under attack.
Nothing's changed. Yeah, it's going, oh, nothing's changed. All
Not
right.
exactly, exactly. So you can have all the self-love and everything, but if that's why I was looking into watching your language, said there's work to do. And again, it's brilliant because the part of you that feels insulted is the one you have to work with next, saying, tell me. And it is
All
not feeling
right.
insulted from what the people are doing. It is also another protector that got insulted as a young one and remembers that story and just bringing it up to you, saying this one represents that one.
Yeah, I just met the activist I have. A part of me is the activist.
There you go. So
So I've
that
got two now that can come to the table.
you have to bring all of them
Yeah.
one by one. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
Deborah. Okay, Alish, right? Go ahead, my dear.
Yes, thank you, Manu. Thank you for the lovely space actually here today. I've really appreciated it. It's my first time at this meeting. I must say it really, I do have a question at the end as well, but I just want to share how it came up for me. I get fear I feel a physical fear in my tummy when I'm a bit on edge, and I shouldn't be today. I shouldn't be on edge. I mean, I've no reason to be. It's okay that I am on edge, but I am a little on edge. I've no reason to be. I'm having a relaxing day at home. You know, kind of a retreat day for myself. So it's perfectly lovely, and it's perfectly lovely to be on this meeting today. When you came in with the suggestions of the timelines, it really sparked something in me. I'm in ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics program. I grew up in a dysfunctional household, and definitely at 4.5. I always felt, even before I knew any of this stuff, as I've gone through it, that I used to think my trauma used to feel it happened for me as a young child. That's when it began. But as I've looked more and more and kind of found out or became more and more aware, I felt it began in uterine, and the 4.5 months timeline, I could visualize that, and I was able to offer healing, which was brilliant. trauma throughout my childhood, throughout my growing up years. So the 4 to 5 year one for me, what sprang up was I was with my father in a big crowd, holding on to his hand at a match, which would be an unusual thing for me to do, for me to be at with him. And I got lost. So I think that's where that came up.
Abundant.
And yeah, I got lost there, and that came up for me today somehow. But as I said, it was consistent trauma, so it was very hard to. But those came up, and at 22, 23 years old, what happened was my who then later became my husband, my boyfriend at the time, split up with me. So that was a big major trauma for me as well. 4 to 5 years ago, I was in early recovery from alcoholism myself, and I was having a difficult time at about 6 to 8 months sober. So that's about the timeline there where there was something really big going on for me. Can't quite place it, but I just love the whole part of the protective part and the fear in my stomach. I was able to let it go. But I just wondered, like when you were talking about the timelines and you did the tuning forks, like does everyone relate to particular timelines in the group the same, or was it really meant for me today? It definitely got me today anyway, but I was just wondering how it worked.
I think this is my 147th session. It's bizarre how this works. I mean, this tuning fork is for people who are, not coming from that part of the realm. It's so when I start the tuning fork session, I put everybody who is present, but everybody who's going to hear the recording also into the table, and this is what I do mentally, saying everybody here and who are going to listen be here. And I was also surprised by the timeline, because normally at inception it always does. Today, nothing. It went straight to the point of in vitro. And it was asking me repeatedly to say, because that's why I kept repeating, is saying, this may not be the fear of the child, it may be the fear of the environment, okay? And so focus on the environment. But the child, the little one, felt absolutely most unsafe. In all the timeline that I went through, that was the most intense feeling of unsafety, okay? And the sense I got, so I'm kind of answering to you both of your questions, the sense I got was that this planted a seed of flared fear later in life. It's like, it reminds that time, because that's how trauma works. It sits on top of something which happened before, because it's a deja vu. I had that before, it's not new. I've seen that before, and now I'm triggered again, okay? This is why they are exiled, because the system feels, oh my God, he is going to feel that same thing again. Let's put that, numb it down, etc., etc. Okay, that's what happens. Now, bring it in, and I always wondered, but I think to me, bringing it in as the beginning, and I spent time on it, made sure that it gets cleared up, and the message to the little one to say, you are safe. That starts to then go and tell to the other ones later, afterwards, that actually I'm safe, and so it kind of percolates upwards, okay? So, yeah, the timelines are always weird how they all show up. But the thing is, it means something for you, and this is key, okay? And
Yeah.
that's key, and it does for many people. I've always found it this way.
Yes, that's brilliant. I won't keep wondering, I just think it was very beneficial for me. And, you know, I'll just accept it as this is it. It really, it really rang true for me. So
Okay.
thank you. And I will come again.
Okay, and this is for everybody who's still here, by the way. I wrote it in the chart sheet, but I ask everybody, please take 200, 300 grams of salt, normal salt, put it into your bathtub, and soak yourself for 20 minutes. This helps to detox everything from you, just as a process, okay? It'll help to process it out faster, because now your body will process. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the healing.
Thank you. Amra, go ahead, my dear.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Amazing session. Oh my God, it's incredible. I just want to say a lot of part come up, of course, around this anxiety, and is a shoulder, arm, and back today, and throat a lot. My throat, there is a lot here. There is a lot of fear in my throat, a lot of tension. I don't know why I choose the back today. And she tell me that she's scary to receive love, but strong emotion is the most. You know, she tried to protect me by strong emotion, and she tried to let close my chest even. You know, my back is really, oh my God, there is a lot. And she tried to keep control. She have a fear that a lot of emotion and even positive emotion can destroy me. And it's really, that I'm gonna diet. I can't survive to strong emotion, especially positive emotion. And that's was the fear. And, you know, come up this part by, but I don't know, maybe it can be more answered than that. But when my mother screamed me when I was child, or when my parents have an argument all the time, and I was in observation of them, all this stuff make me feel that it's too much. There you go.
Okay.
Maybe there is more, but yeah.
No, but I think you have to, so just stay with this.
Yeah.
Because when you say she, it's a protector, okay? This is what is coming, okay? And the protector is kind of saying, I started doing this at the young age when I saw the strong emotion exchange between your parents that made you feel so unsafe that the little one is going to die. Okay. So your process is to hold this she that came up, okay, tell her, okay, that I see you, spend as much time as you can with her. Okay, understand, like we do in every session, right? You know, just spend time, and then with her permission you go to the younger one using one of the recording of the full session. Okay, and that younger one who had witnessed is the one that is still fearful. But it's coming up for you, which is good. Because when the parts come up and become visible in your inquiry, is because they are tired of playing their role and they just want you to take care of them.
And how can I work with that, with this session today, and continue to keep going with her, or another kind of session?
So I will send a follow-up afterwards, but do at least one time with this one using the same session, so that it should become more clear to you. Maybe it is already, but take one more time. But then you go to remember the one that you always see, which is the one to heal the younger one. You know, that same one. It's in every session, YouTube, you have the link to do the full one, do with that one. Because in that, you also see the younger one. You have to spend time with the younger one.
Okay, I don't understand what is the session, to be honest, because there is a lot. Even the last time,
I will
I don't want.
put
Yeah.
the link. I will put the link here.
Okay, I just want to say quickly, because it's important to me. What come up is this guilt, you know. I just want to say, yeah, I just want to say that there is a lot of fear right now to be, for example, close and alone with the guys that I like, for example. And that's still fear. I don't know if it's the same part, but it's really interesting to see that she come up and she manage everything. Like I can't do nothing with this protector right now. She have a fear. And was interesting, and that is another question that I have for you really quickly, that like yesterday happened some fraud. They stole me money because I called back the number because I wait the result from the hospital. Okay, long story. I called back and they stole me money, by telephone, etc. Okay, long story. But I still guilty with that. Fear come up. Fear come up. I was blind with the part of fear. There is a lot of fear. I call back for fear, which I never did until now, something like that. And was really scary to see how much I was blind with this part, and I called back and they stole me money and I still feel guilt. And how can I work with this guilt? With the same stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I put you the link here, so use that
Okay.
one. Use this one.
Even for
So you start with the event. If you take this example where somebody stole money,
mm-hmm,
etc., and you immediately know how it feels because you have just gone through it, which holds
mm-hmm,
guilt. You
mm-hmm,
start with that. You understand deeper why, because there has to be a reason why you feel
mm-hmm,
it. If it's familiar, okay,
mm-hmm.
and then it'll take you backwards.
Okay, I have to work on this guilt part and then I can continue to work in
Yeah.
fear or guilt part with another session or this session. Okay, you
Yeah.
mean that?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ambra.
So much.
Okay. Margarita, before you go, we'll bring Lavorka because she said it, and then she was kicked out. So, Lavorka, go. I will be. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for all this year that you have been providing with safe space and with lessons. It's very like the year passed really fast, and it sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming to see how many things are left to work on. So I just wanted to say thank you for providing the safe space for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of the few places where I can really be vulnerable. So yeah, thank you. I wanted to just quickly ask, so regarding the session, I've noticed that I encountered first Protector. Protector was the restless one, fight or flight, the fight one. When you feel overthinking, over talking, you get anxiety around other people, cold feet, shoulders and neck tense. That was the sensation. And then I was thinking more in the session, and it said since I was kid, people didn't understand enough, and I couldn't voice myself out enough. So I felt many times like trapped, people in my mom, or female figures have been dominating, and I couldn't express myself, and overwhelmed me emotionally, and how I should be, like as a woman, how I should be, what should I do, what la 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 la. influence me, and I wrote here, compromise my autonomy. Very heavy. And yeah, behind that was helplessness, like an exile. I named it helplessness.
Mm.
And yeah, sorry, I feel anxiety a little bit talking about this.
But I also feel there is a lot of, okay, I'm hearing you, because you have been here for some time and I can feel you. There's a lot of, you have more self-compassion. There's a softness and kindness to yourself as you speak about yourself. Okay?
Yes, definitely. Without IFS, I don't think I would ever have compassion towards my protectors and some
Yes.
things that, people that can be judgy.
Correct. But you are not. You are understanding it. And this is the key. This is where you hit the key. Because the more you spend time and energy in this way with yourself, I was talking to somebody before, okay, saying, be careful of your voice. Okay, there is a lot of judgment there. As soon as you start to become compassionate and you start to say, I understand why you may feel this way, okay, or what was going on at that time, now you are telling to your younger self, I see you. I don't judge you. I understand what you went through. That, and you are becoming softer and more compassionate. These two combination is just absolutely the most beautiful for your system to allow you to step by step heal. Okay?
Yeah. Just when I think about childhood, it can be overwhelming. Like I remember talking to my friends, and they were often mean, and I just always felt a little bit lost, So I don't like to think about that too much. And sometimes I feel like that, when I'm with my mom or with some people, or especially in the group of people, when there is difficulties to communicate, voice my boundaries, voice what I need, and I feel like I'll get lost in the crowd, It's very difficult feeling to explain. So I think that's exile. I just don't
Yes,
know how
correct.
to work with it, like
Spend
compassion.
time. Spend time with it. Understand it, where it comes from. Okay, so I get triggered when I'm in the front of, when I'm in a group. That group is reminding, the presence of the group triggers you because it reminds you of something. That something is the pain that somebody, a little one, has been carrying and remembers it now. Whatever the group is saying, that's what I was saying before, it gets filtered by the protector and appears to you as if this is dangerous. And so you feel uncomfortable because of the filter. So when you work and understand it, saying these people are triggering you, okay, somehow, I don't know what it is, you can tell me what it is, where does it come from, etc., etc. When you understand that, then you will feel much less triggered in the same environment.
Yeah, I feel.
The problem is not the people. People are people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there are all good people and bad people. I mean, this is another subject. The problem is not people. Those people are reminding you of something that you had gone through, and that is where your trigger is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this has. You said one time not to mention diagnosis, but like the autism thing.
No, what I said is, I would have always said that don't label yourself with the diagnosis, because then you are reaffirming it. That's what I say. But knowing what it's doing to you and understanding deeper sense of it is your self-work. You see?
My question is, will I ever be able to like feel safe around other people's like
Yes.
people, because I want to
Yes.
be able to
Yes.
like express myself, but sometimes I cannot talk, and I just
Because
it's weird.
it doesn't feel safe for a little one which got triggered at an earlier age, and that one reminds you, oh, these people are dangerous.
Exactly.
Even if they are not. And it's not about the people, but it's about bringing to your awareness that there is something for you to work on. And I think you said in the beginning of this, or when you started to speak, that a lot of work is done. What I say all the time, I am work in progress. If you talk to Richard Schwartz, who created IFS 40 years ago, I heard him this month, Tuesday. He was in a live session, and he was saying, because somebody was asking same question, I get so many. He said, after 40 years of doing IFS, I discover my parts still. Yeah.
We have to somehow be okay and not see it, okay, I need so much work because there is so much. It's like you get annoyed because you have to work so much on yourself, and you have this perception that other people have to work less, and then you're like, on some level.
No, everybody. This is what I was saying before to somebody else. Okay, I was probably talking to Alicia on that. Okay, there's a point where you start to get, and I know I have done that shift I've been 15 years in working, okay? This is when I became aware that I have something to fix, okay? And before that I was blind. But my major shift started probably 2-3 years ago, where you don't feel that you are on the side, or you're doing hard work and working hard. You said, this is my life. Okay? And I go through stuff and shit every other day, and I have to deal with it. Absolutely. Okay? Well, that brings up stuff for me. I think I was sharing a few weeks ago about what came up for me, which just surprised me from my age of 7. Okay? This is life. Okay? There's a light joke that I make. The day you stop working on yourself is that when you are flat, when you are about to go into the ground. Okay? That's when you stop. Okay? So life is about that. So not to be afraid of it, but to take it as learning about you brings you much more sense of self, because at the end it's not about you, by the way. You don't exist alone in the planet. You exist with an ecosystem, okay, and people around you, okay. And so when you are at that level of self-energy, others will get impacted immediately by your presence, even if you say nothing.
I like that. That even if you say nothing, I like that so much.
Because you are in that place. It doesn't mean that you will not have stuff coming up, but it means that you are not in that place where your language starts to be much more, as you say, expansive, not critical. And if you see something, think, oh, those people, they are doing something to me. I wonder what it is. I know this evening when I go home, I will work on it. Okay? So you see, you've immediately told your system, yes, you have brought me an alert that these people are triggering something on you, but I don't have to now go into a place of fight or flight or fawn or whatever, crisis mode. I notice it and I will work on it this evening when I go home.
Yeah. What you said at the beginning, that the protector is between, and my perception of the people is clouded by protector.
Always. Two kinds of protectors. One which is trying to prevent crisis to happen. Second kind of protector which says, oh my God, the prevention mechanism failed. Now I have to make her get out of this situation. Okay, these are called firefighters. So you may have any of them, okay, coming up.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Because, like, when I reflect back, as we said, there is a lot of work done, and we have to acknowledge that.
Exactly, absolutely. That's why I'm saying to you, I've seen you, I hear you. There's a lot of work that you have done. This is not your voice, or I can go back with 1 year
Thank
ago.
you.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't so compassionate about like my
yourself.
judgment. My judgment was much stronger, and
You were
I was much more critical towards me. And I developed some space between how I react towards triggers, especially with my
mom.
mom.
Mom, yes, exactly. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
What does he call? Richard Short called them. He uses a word, very nice words. The people that trigger you most are your best teachers.
Hmm.
They are the best teachers of your life. He uses a
That's
specific
true.
word about them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. People that trigger you most are your best teacher because that's related to Jung. Like it
Yeah.
shows you the buried part of yourself, and the buried part could be seen as exile.
So IFS comes from a lot of
Yeah,
work of Young, by the way.
yeah. I really
Tormentor.
like
Thank you,
that.
Anu.
Yeah,
Thank you, Anu. Exactly, tormentor. Yeah.
tormentor it's called. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tormentor. Yeah, it's not easy. At first, you get agitated. The other protector shuts you down, and
There you go.
yeah, it takes time. It takes time, and it's not easy always to be patient. There is a lot of layers, but what you said is learn about you and others. I think you mentioned like being curious. So I think maybe person develops this 4 C's, curiosity,
Correct.
that can help. Okie dokie. Thank you so much, Manu, and have a nice holidays or New Year. Hope you also get a good rest
Thank you so
from.
much.
It's not easy work. No, it's not. We all need some, as you said, reflection and some rest. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Same to you.
no problem. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Margarita.
Hi, Manu.
Yeah.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Hello, everybody. And thank you so much for the session and for the tuning forks. They're always amazing. And actually, the timelines, all the ages were, for me, too, were amazing. So yeah, just right now talking about it, a question. So when I breathe out, when you say during this tuning fork,
24.
so that means I'm kind of releasing it.
Yes, correct. Breathing is part of releasing out. Then I'm also in the field, because when I'm doing the tuning fork, I am always in the same field. Okay, so I see the tuning, the frequency change. I feel it in the hand, and I keep going, keep testing, and if it doesn't change, it means it is still stuck there, and it needs more energy. So then I use the other tuning fork, which is really meant to release stuck out, and normally that helps. But also asking everybody to go into that, tell to that young one that it will feel safe. It does. So there is a combination of things that are done to basically help to change the intensity of that moment in your torus field.
Okay. And does it mean, Maya, that it was released for me at this very moment, and I don't need to repeat this session? Does it mean for me?
Depends. This is there is no straight yes and no answer. You would know it. There is, for some people it gets released immediately. For some people, you need to hear it again. And sometime it comes into another, we would be doing another session, and that 4.5 will come up, but in another context, because, okay, if you compare with what we do in IFS, okay, and that I have done this a lot with tuning forks. The beauty of the tuning fork is that the only intention you have is to find discrepancies and root them out. That's the only intention, okay? With IFS, you go intentional into finding which age I may have had a pain or whatever, okay? So you're kind of using the two ways to go into one place. This one, in my view, is more precise, at least from what I've understood, okay, or seen. And but it may also mean that it needs other means to release it. So that's why we use combination of IFS with this one. The only person who knows that is released or not will be you. Your 4.5 months old or 4.5 year old, okay, will tell you I'm done or not.
I can ask, right?
Always, 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 always.
So that's
because in the tuning fork and in the IFS session, you connect to that. That's what, when we go there saying you're 4.5 months in vitro, you are everybody, you go there, absolutely, you are there, and you can sense it, feel it, understand it, okay? And you can go back to that again, of course.
all right. So I can listen to this session until I really feel, or the little one will tell me.
Or just ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. I just asked. Yeah, if she wants to repeat the tuning fork session. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Or is she gone? Does she feel safe again?
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So about today's session, the unsafe part appeared at the same place in the middle of my head in pituitary gland as at the previous session. The previous was called about love, is it? Like wounded. Wounded.
Yeah, love, wounded by love, yeah.
Wounded by love, healing the hurt that was never yours to carry. So I had a protector or exile at that session in the middle of my head, and it felt unsafe and insecure. So today we're talking about why my body feels unsafe, and it appeared
same place,
yeah, same place, and also all over my head. First it was reptilian brain, which has like obvious, yeah, it deals with fear, and then it went into the middle, and a little bit to the crown chakra. So it's just
okay. Just one from a contextual point. Again, this is theory. You may have multiple parts in the same part of your body. Yeah?
Okay.
There's no one saying. I have somebody here that sometime I work with. Every time the part is in the solar plexus.
Oh. I had a confusion between one.
So don't. So the presence in the part of your body is just a way for you, because it is in the body, but it allows you to connect with it, to sense it, to feel it, to understand it, to ask the questions, to get answers about it, to guide you to find the younger one, and to see what the younger one go through, etc. Okay. And sometimes it's the same part.
Yeah, because I had a feeling there were like kind of two parts.
They're different one, then it's okay. Absolutely. Don't say to it that, oh, you are the same as the last one. May not be.
Okay. So you know what? It didn't give me clear answers. It's just when I ask about what are you afraid of?
What is a fear for me?
yeah, what is the fear for me? But it's funny, between all these questions, the thing that I felt before, and I was actually saying it a few days ago out loud, it was, I'm afraid of this country, I'm afraid of this town, I'm afraid of the area I'm around. People are tough and different kind of things. About people, about area where I'm at. And then while I was saying it within me, I was like, oh Jesus, what is this? And then I just realized that it was voice of the protector.
Correct.
Actually, it was his voice, her voice, or his voice. And I was like, oh wow, I was just saying it out loud like a couple of days ago. And so when I also asked about the age, when did it start? And it was kind of playing with me. It didn't want to tell me the truth, or it wasn't ready. It was cheeky, and the character changed, and it was saying like, I was told I need to keep you safe. I was told I need to stay down. I need to keep very quiet and don't shine out. Just keep it quiet. I was told. I was like, and then I asked, who did tell you to do that? And it just was pointing with the finger upwards, but the meaning was kind of, oh, the big boss, kind of like a god. You know, it was just really kind of pointing up there in the sky. I was like, I have this feeling, and that's where I didn't ask more questions about it, but it's a strange feeling I have.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
No, but go back to again and keep going back then. Needs more time.
To tell me, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Sometime it needs more time. I mean, you know, we are doing it in a kind of prefixed timing mode. Sometime you need more time to understand and get better. So just listen to the recording.
Okay. And okay, and Manu, about this phrase that, you know, I don't like the country, I'm afraid to be where I'm at. What would you advise to do with this?
You have to understand. Yeah, it may be the truth for it, and then you have to ask the question, what I need to do. You know, there is a question at the end. Okay, what do you want me to do so that you don't feel the same way for me again? It will answer to you. Okay. Your part will tell you.
So I need to ask the part. Okay, what then?
It is in the it was in the session.
Yeah, super. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Okay, before I go to you, Brooklyn, I have a question that was asked by Elaine. And so I just want to take that question. How should we feel in our frame of mind and physically going forward when we are in ideal composure way of being? How can we still feel safe after we let go of the protector part so that it won't kick in? Yeah. Okay. The protector, so this is to you, your question, Elaine. The protector will tell you exactly the answer to that question. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. It will tell you exactly the answer to that question. And I will just ask if you want to unmute and share. You can always do that. But your protector will tell you when it feels that it is safe, and it doesn't have to feel that way. And you will know it. I mean, does it make sense, or what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what I'm getting at is I'm very good at spotting when I'm triggered or when I'm getting really hypervigilant on the inside, but I'm not good at knowing how to kind of maintain composure to best serve my own security and my own it's like a whole body thing. I want to know
Okay.
what should my mind be doing? Should it be not thinking? What should
Okay.
my
So
body be doing? Yeah.
yeah, I get your point. Okay. So the classical is you get triggered, and now you are in the reaction to the trigger. Your protector has taken over and it's running your life. Okay, that's what is classical. Okay, so what we try and do is that there is a small in between gap. Okay, where the trigger will happen, but you will recognize that I am getting triggered. What do I do now so that it doesn't affect me that way? Okay. Now to do that, you have to do what we did today. Okay, exactly this. Because once you have a deeper understanding of why not the trigger you have understanding. Who triggers me, you understand. But what happens inside of you, you have to get deeper understanding. That's why it will keep triggering this way till you don't get the deeper understanding. Okay, so first you get a deeper understanding about why am I getting triggered. Okay, so this is what is it afraid, what is trying to protect you from, since when it is doing it. Oh, I was 10-year-old and this happened to me at that time, and so and then you ask a question saying, okay, I understand, I will be with you, I understand you better. Okay, tell me what I need to do so that you don't get triggered this way. And in that answer lies the in-between part. Okay, so once you practice that, then you get triggered, you're immediately going to activate what you got answer, that this is what I'm going to do. Okay, whatever it is. And again, there is no one fixed formula for everybody. Your system will tell you what is right for you to do so that it doesn't get triggered. It may also say, well, your young one is still feeling unsafe. You have to take more time with that young one because she is still stuck there. Okay, and that's what this reminds me of. Okay, this trigger is a reminder of what happened to the 10-year-old. Okay, and so the 10-year-old is still stuck in that place. So that's why you have to make that 10-year-old feel safe. Then this trigger is no more relevant. Okay, so that's what. Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And I've just realized in that, like, so you're suggesting like a little pause and look in, because
No.
the issue that I have as well is I have impulsive ADHD, and I've spent my entire life in protective mode, in fight or flight, but I also go into freeze. So when I get triggered, I normally freeze and fawn.
Yeah, fawn.
And fight. I would fight more than flight, and that is a real issue for me. And then it just escalates because it's like I'm trying to catch a snake by the tail. I'm going. Yeah. I'm just reacting impulsively to my inner feelings. And I can't seem to get.
Correct. Okay.
I'm maybe not practicing enough.
No. Okay. So no. Again, don't hold yourself in the guilt. There is sitting now here, you can stimulate your triggers. You don't have to be in the trigger. Okay. You can just think about it, and boom, your body will go. Okay, immediately. So this is what you do in the practice here. Okay, here or in this space like this, or using the recording. What you do is you think about the trigger, and your body will absolutely make you go there. But then you're not in the real trigger. You are thinking about it. Okay. Okay, and you may have a lot, as you said, you have ADHD, which means that there is like you have a whole long shopping list of all the triggers. Okay, and so you start with each of them. And again, I know somebody just said, this is a lot of work, and that's okay. But start with the big ones, tormentors, as somebody wrote. Okay, start with the big one, the one that triggers you most. Okay, work it through within yourself, simulation mode, as to where it comes from. Spend time with where it comes from. Let it sink into you with the process that we do with IFS. Okay,
Yeah.
Do it 4 or 5 times. Okay, so it's not like one time repeated.
Yeah.
Then you put yourself into the same situation and observe what happens to you. 9 out of 10,
Yeah.
you will not react the same way as you have been doing. Okay, because as you practiced it a few times, now your inner system has built this kind of resilience. It'll recognize, okay, there we go, but this is what I'm going to do. Okay? And so you feel calm. You don't either fawn or you go into freeze or you go into fight. Okay? Well, these are your. There's nothing wrong in those reactions. This is a learned reaction to a danger. Okay? Not now, but from a past. Okay? So there is. It's how it is. Each one of us has different ways by which we will react. This is how you react. Some people run away. Some people fight. Some people fawn. Okay, there is. This is part of your personality. Okay, so it is not wrong because this keeps you going. Okay, so we are never going to attack. Oh, I have to stop fighting or I have to stop fawning.
Yeah.
We don't go there. We go to the triggers that make you do that, because that's where will be the real healing, the real wisdom, the real inner work. Okay, make sense?
Yes, it does. The problem is that when I'm asked how I'm feeling, it's either okay or not okay. I have that thing where I can't identify what I'm feeling.
It's
And
okay.
the fight, flight, and fawn is usually when I'm coming out of the reaction.
Yeah.
And it's mostly in social situations where I've got all this other stuff going on. Like recently I was doing chairing a meeting, and the chairs were so close to the top table where I was. And I felt like people were almost sitting on top of me. But and there was there was animosity from someone that I'd fallen out with, and his cronies were heckling.
Okay,
and it was
so
horrendous.
Okay, so the point is that experience that you're talking about is not from now.
Yeah.
It is a reminder of something that happened to you,
Yeah,
and
I
your
know what that. Yeah,
inner system immediately goes. So as long as that stays fresh like it is, you are going to react this way. So just saying,
right.
so just saying to yourself, oh, that reaction that I gave was because of that, what happened to me in my childhood, already, it kind of takes the judgment out of the equation.
Yeah, I know what happened. I was at the front of the class, and I actually weed myself.
There you go. So that's your trauma.
I mean, that is really
That is the trauma.
traumatic.
Correct.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
little girl, how old was she? How old were you?
I think it was about 7.
Okay. That 7-year-old is still stuck standing in
Right.
front of class and feeling that way. She's still there.
Yeah,
Okay. So your work is to bring her out of that place
yeah.
into a safe place. And once she
Okay.
feels safe, such a situation will not trigger you the same way. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much.
You're most
Thank
welcome.
you.
Most welcome. Okay. Brooklyn.
Hi everyone.
Yeah.
I had put some things in the chat that I wanted to say first. Most times when I try to do the meditation, anyone's meditation, my body cannot calm down and concentrate. But I try to lie still. But usually there's some crisis I perceive where I feel threatened going on. I don't mean emotionally. I mean my basic living situation. Something happened this morning. It always has to do with agencies and organizations where we're going to get I'm not going to go into it, but just for example, what triggered the adrenaline and the fear was they didn't pick up the laundry. We can't do the laundry. It's going to cost $100. How am I going to get food? We have several letters to agencies. We are being ignored in the state. There's no safety net. And then I don't know whether it's, so those things don't go away and they keep getting triggered and triggered. It's not like I am feeling that emotion from the past, but we don't, I notice when something gets resolved in the external circumstances, that fear and adrenaline dies down. And it's true, people just, I need my basic needs met, my friend, my qualifier. So in the moment when that happens, like right before I came on the workshop, I discovered something. There isn't any time for my body to adjust to do the meditation. And it's like, I once read, I cannot heal if I'm living in the environment in which the trauma
happened. Yeah.
If it's a similar environment that mimics.
Correct. I agree. It makes it far more. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it makes it far more challenging because your protector will say, "I'm not leaving my space or my role because you are not safe yet," and because protector is safety, and so it becomes much more harder. I agree with you, but it becomes lighter. But still, doing the work allows your system to say, "Okay, I am going to." It wants to make you stay safe. That's it. And as long as that is the agreement you get, that I am in an unsafe place, but I will do everything to stay safe, then it may sometime be much lighter and backs off a bit.
Well, I'm speaking with a social worker. All of our hands are tied behind our back legally. No one has power here except the lawyer. But I do try. I mean, there are things that I do like meditation and to calm the system, but there's nothing that helps me most when I see something has been resolved in the external world that affects my ability to take care of myself. And I don't know what to do. You know, when that trigger comes, like it's here this morning, I don't know what to. It's debilitating.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so you need to probably find for yourself something. I mean, the IFS world doesn't talk about that too much, but there are a lot of other world that talk about things like, doing tapping, doing what is called EFT, etc. Anything that calms your nervous system. Breathing, for example, breath work is very powerful, it's a temporary mechanics. Okay, it will not resolve everything, but it will help your nervous system to not go into complete meltdown. Okay, because that's what you are looking for. Okay, so you have to find mechanics where this is going to trigger me, and what do I do then? That's why when I was saying to you that knowing your protectors and having an agreement saying, I understand you are there because this happened to me as a young one, etc., and you're trying to keep me safe. And I know that my environment is not safe now, okay? That itself is enough sometime for your protector to give you some more leverage.
Okay.
And
space.
What you need is that small leverage that allows you to have self-compassion, that allows you to be in a space of openness and calmness, despite everything around you may not be, may not be as it is, as perfect as it should be.
Yeah, it's constantly being cattle prodded and poked. So the is that a firefighter or a protector or both?
It's for you. It's mostly firefighter.
Yeah, that's what it
Because
feels like.
because managerial protector will allow you not to, so will avoid you to get into the situation, but because it doesn't get you out into that, it doesn't stop you from getting into situation, then the firefighter comes in. Okay, and firefighters are more stronger and vicious because they are supposed to take you out of that place.
Yeah, I needed to back off.
You needed to create an agreement of peace with your inner system. That's what is needed. We know this is like, that, like I was explaining to and I think I remember telling you as well many times ago, is not that the system outside has to become perfect for you to feel safe. The system can be as broken as it is, because it's not, you can't do anything to fix it, okay? But the less you are attached to the brokenness of the system, and more you're attached to yourself being safe and good, etc., the less the system has an impact on you. And again, I'm not taking away the fact that you may have physical disability. I mean, all of that is real. I mean, it's not, you're not making it up. It's all real. But the point is that, do you stay in a constant state of fight or flight or fawn or freeze mode, or you have space where you can feel safe within, despite the world around you might
Space
be burning?
where I feel serenity, but yes, I feel many times, especially at night, 2 a.m, there are times that I feel serene, like I see all my problems, they're not my problems, the society's problems, there, and they're not touching me. But they don't get resolved. And that's not an answer either, because it piles up and it becomes toward homelessness. So it's like being bliss with your head in the sand, kind of like.
No, it's again, no. Yeah, I know. And I know this is not part of this realm, but this is about what we call manifestation, etc., etc. Is if all the time you focus on the brokenness of a system, and that's the only thing that goes on all the day in your head, the system will show itself to be broken.
Okay, I understand that. It's broken for everybody. Its system doesn't exist, it's people. But anyway, okay, so what can I say to the work? I don't have anyone to do a tapping with. It's just a holistic doctor recommended that to me. But what should I say to this part? Or it might be many parts.
There are many parts. There are all of them. You have to bring them all into the table. There was a session we did, which was about putting all the parts on the table, listening to them one by one.
Okay.
That one is a good one for you to do. I will send you the recording, but yeah, that's a good one to do, because sometimes if there are many of them, put them all there and let them all speak up one by one, so that you know all of them, you understand each of them, and they are part of your quote-unquote family of inner system that have all felt the effect of the external world. Okay.
I want to ask them to not throw out that adrenaline, that I am addressing things, but I can't do that with the adrenaline. It has the opposite effect.
Exactly the point. If you are much less in fight or flight or fawn mode, then you can address the external world different than in the when, because then the two are in the same mode. Because as you said correctly, system is people. You in crisis, when you go in front of a people, you trigger them in a certain way, and then they appear to be what is called broken, okay, which they may not be, but because they got triggered by you, you never know the complexity. And I'm also kind of, I see the question of Lisa. Lisa partly answering to your question as well.
I feel it's the opposite. I and my friend are always triggered by them.
This is you looking at yourself. But what if the other one gets triggered and behaves from a place of trigger, which then becomes a mess for you? Now it's what happens in, by the way, sorry to say like that, what happens in couples which are, going all over, or friends, etc., which are breaking up. You think it's just one system which is in pain? No, both systems are in pain, but both systems are in pain from something else. But now they're making it each other's pain.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, the other thing is the tuning forks. When you were doing it, I think when I was being born, I was born on my grandmother's birthday, and my mother said I was 2 weeks late, but I was only 5 pounds. It's like, it's strange. One of the rituals is to force, I think they forced labor. And I believe there was a birth trauma that affected my whole life. A reader told me that. I never got the records, but there were some indications during my birth, and I shouldn't have been, maybe that wasn't the time for me to come out on my grandmother's birthday. So the environment you were talking about, I could relate to that. It was unsafe because they were doing some things they shouldn't have
Correct.
done.
Exactly. I remember.
I don't know how it affected me consciously.
It did.
It did. And then the other thing is, I don't go for like diagnoses. I won't pathologize myself, but it's been revealed to me that I have a hyper bipolar state. And I turned 65 on December 4th, and I just found this out in the last several months, but through like ACA people and 2 friends of mine that are therapists. They took the time to talk to me about my symptoms, and I think it makes sense. It's related to a hormone, like a biological state where I get triggered and semi-euphoria, not high, and then I have deep states of black hole depression where I can't function at all, and I undereat. I did go to psychiatrist, which is a big step. I don't have medication. I didn't want to take it. But I know if I was in Germany or Russia or Germany or Israel, I might have, or Switzerland. My doctor said, you won't find what you're looking for. My former doctor, you'll have to go to Switzerland for what your type of care you're looking for. Here, they're going to offer pharmaceuticals. But I also think that I need to consider it. It's just not something I can. I think it's like treating the symptoms,
Yeah.
But I'm at the point where lying in bed, feeling like I'm dying, like God is dead, empty, is not, like.
Yeah. Okay. So again, you have to follow what feels right for you. But I've also experienced many people in that way. And sometimes medication does create space for you to feel more objective.
That's what I need, a space to see reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I spend time with people who are diagnosed, like what you said, and you have to create that space so that these peaks or the troughs become less extreme. Okay, and for that, if medication helps, you use medication not as the only solution to your problem. You use it to create space, and then you do your inner work because you have space.
Okay. Well, I think they're perhaps going to give me an IFS therapist.
Yeah, that will be great.
Yeah, I'm meeting her in January. The last thing I wanted to bring up quickly is 2 days before my birthday, my mother came to me in a vision. And I'm turned 65 December 4th. I don't know where my mother is. I don't know what my family is. I had to leave young. And there were a series of events that happened from that. I spiraled down. She was dressed in a cloak, in a black cloak, like a tomb, dark, and I didn't recognize her. I've had visions before and premonitions as a kid. So it was like a dream, but I woke up and I saw her. And I didn't recognize her at first. And then she aged back slowly so I could see her when I grew up with her. And then I realized it was my mother. And the way she was dressed
Just triggered you.
Oh my God. I said, well, it's not a big deal. She's doing her stuff. But I don't know what she's still doing, if she's still doing her incantations on me, and why God didn't protect me from that. And I got a picture of my mother that I think I was in denial about what she was really like. But it seemed like she was really, really a cold woman, very cruel, and like very devoted to this cult stuff and torture. And that's what I got from it. And it just took me down. And then I started Buddhist chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. I started doing that again. Someone called me and suggested that.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so just one thing for you, because today this came up as well in the tuning fork, is that it kind of said, and I think I made that statement, that whatever form your mother has come or father has come in this lifetime, which has been painful, is because it was exactly how she was treated as a young one. This doesn't take away the act of wrongness. No, it doesn't. But it helps you to know that that cruelty was a learned behavior.
well, I don't know if that's true. Her and my father and my mother's mother were part of the cult. They hurt children, killed them, tortured them, and all of that.
There you go. So it's a generational pain that, and I remember we did it, but you can do that again if you want. Is you put your mother behind you, and you take your pain out of your system, and also for her.
I don't remember doing that. I
Right.
just don't want her to. Is there any way I can protect myself from her appearing before me, or?
Yeah, you can do that if you want to.
I don't know how.
Okay, think about it if this makes sense for you. But that's something that, because you are carrying her pain as well, for sure, in many ways.
Her pain of what? Okay.
What she gave, and also what she has been carrying.
I don't know how to get rid of that. I've been crying. I feel like it's grieving.
I will send you something, see if that makes sense for you.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
But I don't know how to protect myself from her again. I think she made
that you can do. Use any ways to put yourself in a circle of protection. That you can do. You have to tell your brain to do that. She's not here. She's not physically around you. So you have only to protect her from her energetically.
Well, that's where she's doing damage, is energetically.
So this you do. That's what I'm saying. It's like you put yourself a ring. I mean, and you can do any form. If you're doing chanting, use I don't know, Reiki mechanism where you put there are all the other tools that are there just to protect yourself. Make yourself go to a safe place where you are safe. Okay, because at the end it's here, right? It's not anywhere else.
I went to a priest. He did a cleanse and he prayed over me. I felt a little better.
Yeah, use mechanism.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and I will just answer Lisa and then we can stop. What if the broken system is my family? My son triggers me. 37 is extremely triggering. I realize it's an intergenerational. We didn't have choice. It was passed down. Okay. Start by putting your broken, what you call the one who triggered you, in front of you and look at what happens inside of you. Like I was just saying to any others. Okay. That's the best way to go in. You have to know what happened inside of you in that timing for you to be able to then create space of understanding. Okay, that's what, Lisa, if you want to speak up, you can.
Oh, hello. Hi, Manu. It's my first sort of session here, so
welcome.
I'm not sure how I feel about being recorded. Am I being recorded?